Good evening, everybody. And wow, we've got something wrong with my camera. Give me just a second here. What is going on? Been having issues, some technological issues here, but we'll get it sorted out. There we go. Man, I look old and tired, do I not? Well, it is about 10 o'clock at night Eastern, and here we are together again today. This is our second time today, and we're going to be talking about a breaking case, and it's a heartbreaking case as well, and it is that of the murder of a 12-year-old girl. Everyone, 12 years old. Houston, Texas girl. Her name is JOCELYN Nungaray. And JOCELYN, it appears, snuck out of the house and went down to the 7-Eleven. She was talking on the phone as she went, and her life was taken from her. Now, we don't know who the people are or the person is who took JOCELYN's life, but police are looking for help in identifying and talking to these two men, which, man, I just wish every convenience store had 4K video. This is the worst. But these two men right here are persons of interest that police are looking for. And so I felt it was important to go ahead and bring you the details of this case, talk about it a little bit tonight. We're going to read a couple of articles. I've got some videos to show you guys. There's a lot going on here. But why don't we start by reading together a couple of articles. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here to this from kctv5.com. This was written today. By the way, JOCELYN, her body was found on the 17th, on Monday. She snuck out of the house on the 16th, and I believe she was murdered on the night of the 16th. Her body was found about 6 a.m. the morning of the 17th. All right. A 12-year-old girl who is believed to have snuck out of her Texas home was found dead in a creek Monday morning. The medical examiner confirmed the girls identify as JOCELYN Nungaray. She was last seen on surveillance video at 7-Eleven. Let me actually just show you a couple of these here real quick. Couple photos of JOCELYN at the 7-Eleven here. These were released by police. The Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences, this is Houston, Texas area, determined JOCELYN died by strangulation, according to a report from KTRK. Houston police said JOCELYN likely snuck out of her home Sunday night, the 16th. KTRK reports that JOCELYN was talking on the phone to her 13-year-old boyfriend around midnight when he heard her talking with two adults. And we can see her with her cell phone in her hand in at least one of these photos. I think there's, two of these photos she's speaking. So could be that she died early morning on the 17th. Quote, "We are looking into whatever communications that could have happened. We're not sure how that was, but we have reason to believe that the family did not know that she was leaving the house," Lieutenant Stephen Hope with Houston Police said. Houston police are looking at surveillance videos from the 7-Eleven to follow up on leads. They released images of two male persons, which we've looked at here, persons of interest that were seen in the video with JOCELYN. JOCELYN's grandmother told KPRC that JOCELYN and her family were starting a new chapter as they had just moved to the area. A woman driving home Monday morning made the disturbing discovery when she noticed a body in the creek. Billy Jackson told KTRK that at first she thought it was a mannequin, but she decided to do a U-turn to make sure. Once she realized it was a body, she called 911 immediately. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help the family with funeral costs. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers of Houston. It's 713-222-TIPS. By the way, guys, I've got that number linked down below. Also, I've got the number to the Houston PD down below. Now, let's pause from the reading here real quick, and let's go over to... goodness, I am having issues, guys. Bring this here. There we go. Let's go over here. Just wanted to look at this real quick. This is the Google satellite view. What was her name? Billy Jackson? Is that what her name was? Yeah, Mrs. or Ms. Jackson was crossing this bridge, and she said she saw it. So driving from a car, I'm trying to think, it's like if you're on the road, looking out in the creek, you're not going to be able to see down, directly beneath you. So her body would have been out a little bit from the bridge, or maybe on the other side. If I go back over, we'll take a look at this on, what is it, this side. Yeah, so, the JOCELYN's body would have been out there a little ways. But if I go back and just kind of show you where we are, we're in Houston, Texas. So Houston is right here in kind of eastern part of Texas. And then in the North Houston suburbs is kind of where we are. The 7-Eleven that we saw those photos of was right here at the corner of Rankin and Coykendall or Kirkendall, however you say that. But this is the 7-Eleven right here that we saw these surveillance pics from. That's this 7-Eleven. So that's where we are. We're in north of Houston, and apparently JOCELYN and her family just moved into the area, and they lived pretty close by. I mean, within walking distance of the 7-Eleven. Could be, any of these houses, but it could be in this subdivision, in the apartments. I don't know. But that is where she was found. Yeah, and Mooney, before I bring that up, let me see here. Mooney says that man in the pink shirt sure seems to be following her. Yeah, doesn't he look like he's looking over? It's yeah, so we want help identifying these two men. And I know it's not a lot to go on here, but I was thinking that I looked at Google Images. I was thinking this ball cap kind of looks like an Astros ball cap, but I couldn't find one with like the reddish orange bill with the blue panel in front. I found some that were similar, but I didn't find a hat like that. But I'm thinking that might be a Houston Astros hat. And then I did find a Houston Astros hat that had a black rim and was tan. So I know this isn't a lot to go on. I'm hoping that the police have more leads than just these photos. But I am actually surprised, guys, at how often I will write a story for from the company I work for, with police looking for public's help finding people, and we put up this grainy, horrible photo, and before we know it, the police let us know that they have located or identified the person. So, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Guy looks to be kind of holding like a fanny pack over his shoulder, wearing deck style shoes, some Vans or something like that, maybe some Hey Dudes or something. Uh, but that's our dude, bearded, young, and then the other man looks to be a little bit shorter. It's really hard to tell. Really, really hard to tell. Let's see. What is Withal says? Guy with the dark shirt looks like he has tattoos on his left arm. Yeah. It's hard to tell because it's so grainy, but it does appear that there are some patterns there. So maybe people will be able to identify. If you guys see these pictures and go, "Oh, I know exactly who that is," or exactly who they are. And yeah, Sunday night at the 7-Eleven, yeah, I know who that was. Please call Crime Stoppers if you want to be anonymous, or the Houston PD. Again, I put the numbers below. Let's not forget who our victim is here. 12-year-old girl. 12. Okay. Let's go back over to read the next article, and then I want to show you a couple videos here. Okay. This was written today again, and the Houston media has been all over this. Houston, Texas. More information is coming out about the death of a 12-year-old girl after her body was discovered in a creek in North Houston on Monday. JOCELYN Nungaray was found off West Rankin Road near the North Freeway, walking distance from where she lives, after investigators believe she snuck out of her home around 10 p.m. on Sunday. Her mother last saw her when she went to bed, according to police. ABC 13 obtained surveillance images that appear to show JOCELYN's last moments alive. Yeah. Oh man, it's just so hard to convince kids not to do dumb things. Like, and I'm not blaming her, because how many dumb things did I do when I was 12? Oh my goodness. It's just so hard to convince them not to do dangerous things. So tough. And sometimes it's just hard to understand that there are predators out there, right? That there are people out there, just that are willing to do horrible things. Okay. On Wednesday, ABC 13 spoke to JOCELYN's grandmother, who told us, "We really want justice for her. We're asking for everyone's help." She described her as an incredibly kind and loving girl. The family recently came back from their annual vacation at Garner State Park. Later in the day, ABC 13 spoke to the mother's girl. I actually have a couple of videos that I want to show of Alexis. She's meant to be here. She's supposed to be here, Alexis Nungary said. She had aspirations for life. She loved everyone. She was so kind. Greatest friend, very goofy. Alexis Nungary doesn't believe she knew the men caught on surveillance camera. Quote, "She's not one to be aggressive and be like, 'Stop talking to me,' she said. She's very shy and quiet and keeps to herself. I felt like she maybe didn't want to be rude, and that's why she was pacing back and forth and safely get away from the situation. She unfortunately got caught with the wrong people at the wrong time." JOCELYN was reportedly talking to her 13-year-old boyfriend on the phone around midnight when he heard her talking with two adults. I wonder if they were two adult men. Alexis Nungary added that she tracked her daughter's phone to a nearby skate park when she realized she was missing. Tuesday evening, Houston Police Department released pictures of two male persons of interest in the case. Again, we're going to look at these a little bit more. There will be a report issued shortly with very bad, horrific circumstances, Houston Mayor John Whitmer said on Tuesday. Investigators have been searching for surveillance video that will help lead them to the killer. Yeah, so if you're in the area, if you have a Ring doorbell camera, or if you have neighbors who do, please look through those things and see if you catch these men on your camera, and give that information to police. It says investigators have been searching for surveillance video that will help lead them to the killer. Billy Jackson was driving home from dropping her husband off at work on Monday morning when she says she made a disturbing discovery. Quote, I drove past, and when I looked up the creek, I thought I saw a mannequin. That reminds me, that was also in Houston, was it not? What was the her name was Alexis. Man, I can't remember the name of that case, but that is one of the early cases that I covered when I was on Solve Crimes with Rick and Gavin. I almost had it on the tip of my tongue, but that was in Houston, and somebody saw her naked body and thought that it was a mannequin. Anyway, I did a U-turn, and I stopped on the bridge, put my flashers on, looked down, and realized it was someone. I parked right here and called 911 immediately, she said. On Tuesday night, Houston police posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, a surveillance photo of two male persons of interest. Doesn't look like it added. The Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences determined JOCELYN died by strangulation. Authorities urge anyone with information about the girl's death to contact Crime Stoppers of Houston at 713-222-TIPS. That's 713-222-8477. 12-year-old girl. 12 years old. Goodness. That is just heartbreaking. All right, let's I have a couple videos that I want to show you guys. I want to start with some videos of her mom. Hopefully this will work. Hopefully the system audio will work. Let me just make sure. All right. Make sure that we've got audio here.
I'm like angry that they took advantage of her. She's so young. She's 12. I want justice. I want them to come forward. I want whoever has seen them, please.
Just talked over it. Sorry. This is Alexis Nungaray. This is JOCELYN's mom.
I'm like angry that they took advantage of her. She's so young. She's 12. I want justice. I want them to come forward. I want whoever has seen them, please just... You took my baby away, Mom. You took her away. Now I get to let her brother know her sister is never coming home.
There was another one here. It's about 45 seconds long.
Just walked around. I quickly got in my car and I pinged her phone, and it pinged right over there. And I ran. And that's when I saw his tape and officers, and I ran up to him, told him my daughter was missing. He wouldn't tell me anything. It wasn't until an hour later I got called to go downtown to talk about her whereabouts, and that's when I was given the information. They found her that morning. JOCELYN was a fighter. She fought hard, and she needs justice. She didn't deserve this, and she needs to be rested at peace.
So that is Alexis Nungaray talking to reporters, including KHOU there in Houston. All right, so the next video that I want to show you guys is a press conference that was done. This press conference was done via Facebook by the Houston PD. I believe this was on Monday or Tuesday. It was June 17th, so this was Monday. This is about a 13-minute press conference, about a 14-minute press conference. So this is not live. This was recorded earlier. Have a listen.
All right, hello. We're here to share some very horrible news. Someone has taken one of our innocent children from us today. A 12-year-old little girl. Found her this morning. And we believe somebody did this horrible thing to her, and we are here to ask for your help to find out if anybody knows anything, anybody saw anything, and anybody can share that information so we can figure out what happened to her exactly, and we can find whoever did this and get them off the street. I've talked to this child's mother, and of course she is devastated. Her family is devastated. Her little girl's gone. So we need your help. I'm going to turn it over to the mayor, and then I'm going to turn it over from there to Lieutenant Stephen Hope and our homicide division to give you more details. But again, we are asking for your help. Mayor.
Thank you, Chief Satterwhite. I echo the Chief's words of asking Houstonians to help us find the murderer of this 12-year-old little girl found on one of our neighborhoods. I've spoken to her mother. She's devastated, actually holding out hope that it's not her daughter, which I'll let the lieutenant address the circumstances. I will say it makes me angry that we have dangerous criminals on the streets of Houston. Too often we rearrest repeat violent offenders, but we won't rest. And this is an example of why public safety will continue to be our highest priority in my administration and working with HPD. Toughest thing I will ever do as a mayor is call up the victim's mother and assure her that HPD, its rank and file, its leadership, the city's doing everything they can to find the perpetrator of this heinous crime. Horrible. As a parent, a grandfather, it's just unimaginable what the family's going through. I spoke with her. She's devastated. And all you can do is depend on your faith and let the police do their work and have someone arrested as soon as possible. I could, another day I'll talk about why we need additional staffing and the issue of the repeat violent offenders. But today we're focused on this investigation, and I yield to Lieutenant Hope.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here this evening. I'm Lieutenant Hope with the Houston Police Department's Homicide Division. I'm here to talk to you about an incident that happened around 6 a.m. this morning. Citizen called 911 regarding a body seen in the shallow water of the bayou near 400 West Rankin Road in the Houston's North Belt area. Houston's Homicide Division, along with the assistance of the Houston Department's dive team and the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office, were able to recover that body out of the shallow water there. Harris County's Medical Examiner's Office is completing an official identification of the victim, but we do have reason to believe that it's going to be a 12-year-old female that was snuck out of her residence late last night and eventually ended up in that waterway at 400 West Rankin Road. We're investigating the circumstances surrounding her leaving that residence and ending up being discovered there deceased. There is surveillance video, and the detectives are working diligently to follow up on the leads that they do have currently. But we are asking that anyone with any knowledge of this incident or any information surrounding this incident, please call and help our investigators find the perpetrator of this incident. They can contact the Houston Police Department's Homicide Division at 713-308-3600, or they can call anonymously to the Houston Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS, 713-222-8477. Thank you again, and please help us out. Any questions?
Sorry, we're not identifying the girl at this point. I just think it might help with, tips.
Yeah, I thought I'd hop in here and just say they had not identified her at this point. We now know, of course, who our victim is, right? But at this point, they hadn't identified her yet.
People knowing relevant information about her.
Right. So the juvenile victim in this case, we're not going to be releasing the name until the official identification of the victim, and even then, circumstances surrounding this case might prevent us from doing so.
can you tell us, you gave us the area where she was found.
Hey, thank you, Allie. It was Alexis Sharkey. Thank you for that.
If people were out in an area between, where did she leave from and what general geography are we
So
talking
she left an apartment complex, actually pretty close to Rankin Road at the evening there. And she was found in the small waterway bayou right next to Rankin Road.
And what time do you think she left?
Anytime last night, a little bit after 10, anytime after 10 p.m.
Do we think the location where her body was discovered was the location that she was killed?
So the actual circumstances surrounding what her body's location was is still under investigation. And you can imagine with all the forensic evidence that would be needed, that's going to be taking quite a bit of time. And this is a very new scene. So we're not going to assume one way or the other just yet.
So what condition was the body found in?
Deceased.
Right, but how do we know, were there injuries?
So the actual nature of how her body was found is something that is under investigation. The medical examiner's office is going to be doing a very thorough look into it forensic.
Again, medical examiner's office hadn't done the initial report yet either at this point. Now we know it was homicide. We know it was strangulation.
And that does
We also know, by the way, that she had been SA'd as well.
take a lot of time. I don't want to speak ahead of what they're going to be finding or how.
Wouldn't it, I guess, help people with tips if they knew how this young lady died?
It could, however, again, I don't want to step in front of what the medical examiner's office has to offer for us.
You said a dive team was called, but were they needed or was this water?
So anytime a body's found in waterway, we will call for the dive team. This was shallow water, but it is their expertise to be able to go in and make sure that not only the body, but any other evidence in that waterway would be found.
You said this young girl snuck out of her house. I guess, what do you mean by that? Was she communicating with someone online, to your knowledge?
So right now we have looking into whatever communications that could have happened. We're not sure how that was, but we have reason to believe that the family did not know that she was leaving the house. Correct.
And we're, saying murder here, we're saying homicide. Can you elaborate on why we think foul play?
So 12-year-old found in a waterway near the residence where she lives is in and of itself very suspicious. And that's why we're kind of asking for people's help in this one.
So how do we know she didn't just trip and fall in?
Like I said, we're leaving that up to whatever information we can get in. Anything would be helpful to us.
Chief or Mayor, can you talk about the resources that are deployed, or sir, if you know the number of people investigating this or the?
So the medical examiner's office, it has several people that came out and went around for forensic analysis. We did have our CSU team out there. We have our homicide detectives working on it as well. So there's several entities that are working together in facet with this.
Was the body found fully clothed?
So the actual nature of the body and the way she was is under investigation. We're still looking into how she was found.
Can you say how far the body was found from her residence?
I do not know the exact distance, but it actually was very close.
So it would be walkable?
Close to the bridge.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any reason to believe that she got into a vehicle at any time? There might be a vehicle involved.
Do not know yet.
Are there any leads on any suspects as of this time?
So right now, we're still, like I said, we're still looking into communications that were there and any other information that we could find from it. There's surveillance video that we're reviewing as well. So any information from the public, any other information that anyone could help would be really, really helpful.
And she was never reported missing. She left.
She was not reported missing, no.
Race?
Yeah, I want to talk about that real quick as far as the whole she wasn't reported missing thing. She snuck out of the house after 10 o'clock is the way I understand it worked. Snuck out after 10 o'clock, and then her body was found at about 6 a.m. So her family likely had no idea that they had a missing child until they woke up, got their, day going, and JOCELYN didn't come out of her room, right? And then her mom, Alexis, said that she tracked her phone, and I think it pinged at a skate park. She was on her way to that skate park when she passed by police with crime scene tape and all that stuff, said, "My daughter is missing." So yeah, I don't blame this family for having not reported her as missing because they didn't know. I think they were all asleep. They expected her to be in the house. And like, I guess I will never find out, or I won't find out for a long time, about how many times our kids have snuck out of the house over the years. But I snuck out of the house all the time. Like, all the time. All hours of the night, I was out playing with my friends, TPing houses and doing stuff like that. So, like, I don't blame a 12-year-old for acting 12. I just wish that there was some way that we could get our youth to understand just how dangerous it is to do that. I just not blaming her. She's 12. She's acting 12. But wow.
That's white female.
All right, we'll take one more question.
I mean, Mayor Whitmire, why did you decide to attend this briefing today?
My concern for the family and to support HPD. We were at a hurricane preparation press conference when we were notified. So this is where I felt like I needed to be. I'm angry that we have circumstances that would lead to the loss of a 12-year-old. I think any of us that have children, grandchildren, you just, it's the worst horror for our family. And let me tell you what, this is a somber headquarters that I walked into. You have a fire chief here, police chief, all the support of our first responders. But it's a sad moment for the city of Houston. So I'd ask everyone to keep the family in their prayers. It's a very tough job on my part to call the mother and let her know that we're doing everything we can. So that's why I wanted to be here to support the family, the police, and let Houstonians know that we're not going to rest until this is resolved and all the bad actors will be held accountable. And also, it's an opportunity for me to emphasize we need additional staffing. HPD is stretched way too thin. Houston Fire is stretched too thin. So public safety will continue to be my highest priority. That's why I'm here.
We'll do it in Spanish. Commander Garcia.
Thank you, Chief. Hoy estamos hablando con los medios de difusión sobre un caso muy triste, muy trágico, donde una joven, una niña de 12 años de edad fue encontrada muerta aproximadamente a las 6:15 de esta mañana.
I think this officer speaks for the Spanish language audience for a couple of minutes, and then that is the end of it. So I think that we can call that good. I mean, yeah. I'm glad he did, because I think a lot of Houstonians are Spanish speaking only. So let's just recap here real quick, guys. We've got a 12-year-old victim, JOCELYN Nungaray, 12 years old, snuck out sometime after 10 p.m. to go to 7-Eleven. She was talking with her boyfriend, and somebody took her life after violently essaying her, right? Police are on the lookout right now. They have 2 persons of interest. They're not suspects at this point, as far as I understand it. They're 2 persons of interest, 2 men. These are them. I know that we don't have very good photos of them. And then we can kind of see. Yeah, so you guys know that I'm like severely colorblind. That bill does look red, not orange. Maybe that's not a Houston Texans or a Houston Astros hat. But there she was in her Venom t-shirt thinking that she was safe. And she was not. She was not. Autumn brings up, so they should have DNA. Yeah, I think they will. If she was assaulted the way that has been described in the media, they probably will have DNA, which is a bit of a silver lining, of course. I mean, what? This stuff just makes me so mad. Yeah, TMI Steph says it looks red. Here, let me go back to the suspects. Yeah, it looks red. Maybe it is a Texas flag. Maybe that's all it is. A Texas flag motif or a Puerto Rico flag or something like that. I wonder if that is a Puerto Rico flag. Yeah. Tiff says she probably thought she was safe because she was on the phone with her boyfriend. Yeah. What is yeah, we've got a couple of other comments coming in, but guys, yeah, keep your kids safe. I think that we all need to try to teach our kids that there are dangers out there. I certainly don't want my kids to be afraid of the world, but we want them to be aware of what could be lurking out there. Just one more. Actually, let me just go to the map one more time so that we know where we're talking about. If any of you are in the area, this is where we are. We're in north side of Houston, on Rankin Road, and somebody told me how to pronounce the name of the street a little bit earlier, but I now can't find that. Let's see if I can just find that real quick. Let's see. Is it Colkery? Is that what it is? Anyway, Rankin Road near the 45 freeway. I've seen this area described as a creek. She was in the creek. She was in that creek, and she was last seen at this 7-Eleven store here. Let's see if we can get a different view of the 7-Eleven store here, so we can just kind of take a look at it. Those, yeah. So as she was walking, if you guys can see my mouse here from this direction, it looks like in those surveillance photos, and then entered the store right there, so we can kind of see her walking next to the ice machine. Go back over to the map here. See, the ice machine is behind this car right there. But there she was walking by the ice machine and the handicap parking, walking into the door, thinking that she was probably pretty safe that night, talking to her boyfriend. And now she is lost, and lost forever. And her future is gone. The future of all the people that knew and loved her has been changed forever. And I sure hope that we can find these men. They may have nothing to do with it, but they are persons of interest right now. May have nothing to do with it, but they were there, so maybe they saw something too. So if you are from the area, please, please, please take a look and see if you can identify these two gentlemen. That's what we are after. Okay, guys, thanks so much for joining me tonight. It's a late time that I decided to do my second video of the day, but I thought it was very important. Very important. I'll keep my eye set up alerts for this. I'll keep my eyes and ears peeled. Hopefully we'll have an update on this soon. I do think that based on what the mayor was saying, I think that I think that the city of Houston has the incentive to want to solve this crime. Before you go, let me just do a quick plug. Just want to do a quick shout out to everybody over there in the fish tank. Thank you very much for joining us over there. We are a growing group. I think we're at like 1600 members. And we're having a fun chat. Lots of new people. It's really fun. I'm glad that so many of you are joining me over there. Remember that you can reach out to me on my website. Just go ahead and click contact. You can always find the fish tank with this little fish up icon up in the top. And then we've got a couple of things going on in the fish tank. Number one, if you ever would like to be notified of a live stream and you're having a hard time with YouTube, Jamie and Autumn run a notification thread, so they will message you to let you know when I'm going live. And then also, I'm trying to get a group together where we can find and book guests for the channel. So if that is if you have any expertise in that or any desire to help on that, please come over and join the fish tank. With that, I will say good night. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.